Hey guys, what's up? It's me, the-kyle-chronicles, and welcome to episode 1 of Smarter Sex Stuff. In case you're confused as to what this is about, I will link the introduction video to this series in the description. And if you're worried about your parents seeing that you searched up something to do with sex, don't worry, there's nothing inappropriate or, not safe for you to learn about, because this video is just about consent. The definition of consent is permission for something to happen or agreement to do something. You want to do the sex stuff with people. If, say, they are like, hey, you okay with under the clothes? And you say no, or I'm not sure about it, or I'm not, it's gonna be a no right now. That's all means you have not given consent. If they say, hey, are you okay with me kissing you? And you're like, yeah, let's kiss. Consent, that's it, yay, you just gave it. With everything, there are circumstances where you are not able to give consent. I have a little list here. If any parties are under the influence of alcohol or drugs, consent cannot be given. If you're drinking or doing drugs, please do not engage in any sexual activity, because maybe you wouldn't have consented to it or initiated it if you had been sober. Any party is unconscious. So say you and your girlfriend are like, yeah, let's do the stuff, and suddenly she's unconscious. You are responsible to stop doing the stuff, because consent has to continuously be given. You cannot go unconscious. Your partner or partners cannot be unconscious and you be like, oh no, it's fine, they said yes earlier, they'd still like it. No, consent is no longer being given, so you have to stop. If a certain party is abusing a position of power, for example, statutory rape, which is when an adult is, doing the sex stuff with a minor. Now, different laws apply to different states and provinces and countries and stuff, so I can't exactly go into detail about that. But in Alberta, where I live, if you are over the age of 18, you are an adult under the eyes of the law and, the government and everything. So if you are 18 and you are with a 15-year-old, that is illegal. You are allowed, I think, a 2-year age difference. I'm not too sure. I'll leave links in the description of specific things for different areas. But if you are 18 and you are engaging in sexual activity with a 15-year-old, whether or not they say, yes, I'm okay with this, I trust you, I'm fine with everything that's going on, if you are brought to court, their consent will not be taken as actual consent, because you are an adult, which means you are abusing that position because you are engaging in this activity with a minor. Saying maybe or no does not mean that consent has been given. If any parties are unsure about their decision, do not continue until you get a clear yes, okay, green light means go, anything like that. Consent needs to be clear. It cannot be like, I'm not too sure, I guess. Don't take that as an okay, because it could result in some problems. If any parties are using forceful or, fear tactic type words to get other parties to participate, then even if they say yes, it's not consent. Consent cannot be forced upon someone. So if you're in a relationship where, say, your boyfriend is like, well, if you really loved me, you do this, or, my ex used to do this, so I don't see why you can't. Anything like that, if you agree to whatever they want you to do after that, you have not given consent. You may think you have, they may think you have, of course, but it is not consent if they're guilt-tripping you or forcing you in any way to participate in sexual activity. If they are continuously doing that type of stuff to you, please look into, what sexual abuse is, emotional manipulation, because you might be going through that, and I don't want any of you to go through that, okay? Along with that, given out of fear. Now, not all of it is emotional fear of, oh my gosh, what if this person leaves me? But, physical abuse does happen, and if, your significant other is saying, if you don't do this, I'll hit you, or, obviously it's not always straightforward like that, but if you are scared to say no, you're not given consent, okay? Even if your partner is taking it as a, oh, well, they didn't say no, they said yes. Yes, I threatened them, but no ifs, ands, or buts. If you are being threatened or hurt, anything like that, you have not given consent. Along with that, consenting to one thing does not mean you consent to everything. For example, if you are a gay male and you said, yes, I consent to you touching my butthole, it does not mean you have consented to penetration. Any act that starts to, advance itself, you need to then get clear consent for that. For example, some people draw their line at kissing. That's it. Just because they've consented to kissing doesn't even mean they're okay with tongue being used or, grabbing or anything. They have simply consented to kissing. If you are the partner or partners of this person who has consented to solely kissing, please make sure you keep it to that. And if you want to add tongue, stop and ask them, are you okay with this? Consent needs to be continuously given. It's not something that you can just assume is given. A lot of situations that people joke about is, oh, tell the girl you use a condom, but take it off right before. No, that is not okay for many reasons, but mostly because your partner has not consented to that. If you are planning on penetrating someone with any object, or, genitalia or whatever, and they say you have to have a condom on, then you have to have a condom on, because if you take that off and you continue to penetrate them, that is not what they consented to. You are breaking their trust a lot, especially if both partners are, or, if you're able to reproduce, that causes a huge risk, and it's not okay. So get consent from your partners. Make sure consent is clear. Make sure anything that you want to do is spoken about. Rules are set down, especially if you're into, more of the BDSM side of things. Make sure consent for each act is given. The reason this is the first episode of the series is because consent needs to be given before anything else happens, and I wanted to make sure you guys knew what consent was, how you can give it. I also wanted you guys to know situations where you or your partner or partners could not give consent, so you don't end up breaking the law or, hurting the person you care about. Next episode, I will most likely be talking about protection regarding vaginas, and I say that because it's not just females who need to be protected with the vaginas, but there's a bunch of genders out there, and I just want your V to stay healthy and protected. So I will see you in next episode. I hope this helped you. If you have any more tips or advice regarding consent, please feel free to leave it in the comments. Bye!